Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash, trending news and entertainment.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash.
Oh.
We've got today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
Yeah, we covered it all here, don't we?
All of
It's
it.
so nice. We even have James Alexander. Good morning, James.
Hey there, James.
Hey, good morning, good morning. In the words of Rick James, give it to me, baby.
Give it to
I
me,
want
baby.
all your comments and everything you have to say about our show. And if you want to just have fun with us, go to our social media channels, our YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and all the great channels that we have. And just let me know. Let's talk. All right?
All right,
Right,
sound
James, thank
so easy to do. We'll have it for you all year long, by the way, dailyflashshow.com. And James will be answering all them questions.
Yeah, we're open 24/7.
24/7.
On the website, right?
It's free. You'll like it.
free.
It's
You like
nice.
it? Buy
It's a
one,
great
get
place,
one free.
man.
Yes, of course. So we sometimes we like to do these police calls, right, and talk about what's going on. And your son used to be a police
Right.
officer, so you know some of the unusual calls he's been
There's
sent on.
never a normal day for a police officer.
Never,
Everything's
never.
different.
So here's an unusual call. Police in Watertown, South Dakota were called to a home for a possible burglary in progress, but neither one was expecting to see this kind of suspect. Okay, so after going inside, the two officers realized they have their suspect in their sights, but much to their surprise, this burglar had four legs and a set of
A
antlers.
set of antlers. Woo, there's that.
Both had never experienced a buck breaking into a home, so they were not sure what to do. Armed with a couple of chairs, the patrol unit was able to corral the buck out of the bedroom, get him out the front door, but not without leaving the place in shambles, including a broken window and a torn up bedroom.
You know, we keep hearing about these stories about animals. I remember the bear
Yeah.
in the basement. Remember,
Yes.
and it got stuck trying to get out. And what do? The thing about it is, you don't do anything. You get somebody else to do it. You go after it. A buck will charge you after you. That sort of thing. Same goes for bears. And it's no longer your house. It's their house. Let them do whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see, and it's great that we have technology to see that things are happening inside people's homes with cameras, so it's kind of cool to see that. A correspondent in New Zealand preparing for a report, then struck by a flying object. Check this out. 32-year-old news reporter was in between takes when a bird, watch this, flies right into, boom, right into her face. The show's producer said the reporter, she's okay. She's going to make a full recovery. However, she has asked management that her next assignment stays indoors. I don't blame her, right?
Yeah, right.
And when you're out there in the public, anything can happen. I remember there was actually, I think it happened in Orlando. Somebody was in they were in New Orleans or somewhere doing a broadcast, and somebody came up and was messing with the reporter or whatever. And she goes, "Oh, you want to talk? We're talking about STDs or something. Do you have it? What STD do you have? Do you remember that?"
Yes, I do remember
and
that.
I get it, because I used to have to do this around the country all the time too. And people want to be on TV. You let them, but you have to just go with it. You know.
Yes.
Getting hit by a bird, and luckily she was in between takes, but if that happened while it was on the air, you just go with it. And I just got hit by a bird. Now you'll get more famous from it because it's going to go viral.
Yeah, and you know and they always tell you in the news business, you don't want to become the story. And in the example that you just gave, that reporter became the story because of how she handled that, or he handled that.
It was a girl. I
woman,
remember that.
yeah.
And you know, you do get tired of it because you're just trying to do
Yeah.
your job, and she just got frustrated. But you're in New Orleans. Do you think you're going to be walking around sober people everywhere?
Yeah, in New Orleans.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we have to worry about James walking in front of us, hitting us as we're on the air.
Well, you know, I try to do my thing. I try to get as much airtime as possible. But let's talk. Let's talk about that. Really, the reporter is not supposed to be a part of the story.
Yeah.
So what are all the weather guys that go out to the hurricanes who are jumping in puddles and saying
That's
they're
fair.
so deep out here? So, what do we say about them? They put themselves in harm's way.
And
So,
when you gave that example, I thought of the Today Show. Okay, Today Show, worldwide
Yeah.
television, and I'm in a canoe.
I thought
Do you
of
remember
the same
that
story.
And she
Yes.
goes, "It's so deep," and then I hope to heck it was on purpose. There was a guy just walks right behind her, and you see it was only about this deep, you know. And,
Half of his boot was covered in water.
and the
She's
anchors,
like,
I think, handled it, the anchors back in the studio. You see what, if I'm seeing it, people at home are seeing it, you got to call that out.
You have to call that out. There's no question.
If you don't, you're not doing your job, so keep about that. We are into a new year, and we definitely all want to be safe, right? Well, it might be time for you to start thinking about updating all your passwords.
Yeah.
Experts say people still choose those logins that criminal can guess in just seconds. This year, admin, A-D-M-I-N, took the top spot as the most common password in the United States.
Really?
However, the United States is not alone. Globally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ranks as the most common password. Admin is right behind. 1 through 8 is so close behind. These patterns appear because they're easy to remember, easy to crack. Password habits also differ across generations. But the pattern is very clear. Many of us rely on simple words, easy number strings, familiar keyboard patterns as a way to remember all of our logins.
I get overwhelmed, especially if you've got one of those sites where you have to update your password like every 6 months and it has to be something different that you've never used before. I'm like, I'm running out of things I can remember.
And you're 100% right. And I can find out if you tell me what your very first, if you have to change it every 6 months, if you tell me what your very first password was, and I know how long you work somewhere, if every 6 months, because usually it's like password 1. Yeah. And then when you have to change it, it's password 2, password 3. All the time. So if you think you're at home and no one will ever figure this out, it's not the case at all.
I love it when you're watching the movies and you see somebody trying to break into somebody's laptop or computer. They always try the easiest combination: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Because it's the most popular, and they should, because that's the most popular. Those things. James, tell me what your password quickly.
Yeah, it was. I could give you one, but I'll let Google do it for you. But I want to say this, for those of you watching who are not tech savvy, most of the apps are going to make you put in a new password this year anyway, because of all the break-ins and so on and so forth. You got to put in a new password.
That's good,
so
actually.
You will get prompt. And you will get prompt to have another backup email just in case you lose your password. You'll be able to get in through an alternate means. So just be ready to give us, give us your
password. Hey, James, there are now apps. So, like Facebook uses this two-factor verification. But it's called I'll give you the one I have to use. It's called Authy, A-U-T-H-Y. Anyway, and it will you connect it with your Facebook thing.
Yes.
Now you go, that's great. But you can't find any that are really free. So they want you to pay for it, which that kind of bothers me.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
agree with you.
Especially.
Well, remember, you still have your two-factor authentication, and you also have another generator that you can use if you had Google, the number one. I'm sorry, I know you're an Apple user anyway, but there are other ways to do it that you don't have to pay. Mitch, just come over to.
This has nothing to do with Apple. This is Facebook. Here, let me tell you how I know this. Is that I tried to log into my Instagram from home, and it says you need to use an authorized software and type in the number. I'm like, which one do I use? And so I went to one and I downloaded it, and they go, it's $9 a month. I'm like, I'm not paying $9 to get my own account. That sort of thing.
Here's the thing: Facebook should be paying for that.
100%, or should have their own app to be able to do that. There's many different ways, and I think if you are using the same one, a lot of the places that can't kind of keep you safe will let you know how many places your email information or your password information has been leaked to, and they remind me this has shown up in 300 different websites.
On the dark web.
On the dark web.
We found your email address on the dark web. Okay, great.
It's scary.
What am I supposed to do? Like I get those notifications on Discover. I had that identity.
So you have
protection, and I get those notices, and I think to myself okay, it bums me out, but what am I going to do? I can't, I'm going to go fight the dark web? Really? What? Come on, seriously.
The only one, credit cards in my bank, I'm extra secure, which you should be by all means. But I probably even shouldn't say that. I don't feel like changing my password because I'll forget.
It's true.
And especially when I can just look at my thing.
And I don't know about you, Mitch and I are big Apple folks, but not all of my passwords and usernames transfer between my iPad, my iPhone, and my desktop. Most of the time they do, but sometimes they don't.
I didn't realize that. We should check about that. We should maybe switch over to Android. No.
No.
Still won't do it.
No.
Not going to do it at all. Sorry, James.
No.
Don't do any switching at all, especially when it comes to your television, because we have more today's trends and tomorrow's talk. We're at
dailyflashshow.com. Flash at dailyflashshow.com if you want to send us an email and sound off.
KSA Entertainment is proud to offer programming to the men and women of our military and their families, serving all over the world on AFN, American Forces Network, seen worldwide.
Our next guest has had a long, successful career singing in clubs and restaurants all across the U.S. And now, at the age of 77, he's in the running, I should say, to make Grammy history by becoming the oldest artist ever nominated for Best Pop Solo Performance. His name is John Michael Ferrari, and he joins us on Daily Flash. Hi, John Michael.
Hey. Good morning. Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Oh, great to have you. This is so exciting. It has to be quite thrilling for you. How does it feel to kind of embark on this new honor?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, I used to live at the Nevada State Children's Home. I would dream of this. I'd play in bands, and I thought one day I just wanted to have the opportunity. I didn't know what opportunity, but just exactly this, be able to be up there on with the Grammy consideration. Never thought it could happen, and here it is.
You've performed mostly cover songs for your career. Yeah. What made you venture into writing and performing your own songs?
Well, I'd always write a little bit, but I didn't know how to make that crossover. When you perform other people's songs, it's always nice, and people enjoy that. But when you start doing your own material, it puts you in a whole different division of your career, because you really have an opportunity to get on the radio. When you're singing other people's songs, you don't have that opportunity. But one day, Pepper J, my manager, came in and she said, "We're going to Nashville and record your songs." That changed everything right there.
So when are the Grammy nominations announced, and where will you be for that announcement?
I think they're going to be announced in November 7th, something like that. And that's going to be exciting. But, this is exciting. Just to be in consideration is an amazing thing. And to have my picture on Times Square, billboard down there, who would have thought? I mean, this is just wonderful, and this is fun.
This is great. Let me get a little history on you. How did you end up performing on stage? Was it something you were always drawn to? Did you happen to fall into it? Was it just kind of a chance moment?
I think I was about 8 years old, and I remember getting my first guitar and learning how to hold it and watching Elvis, and I thought, he inspired everybody. And then having the Beatles come out, and they inspired everybody. It was just something I knew I wanted to do. There's a point in your life where you just know this is what you want. Nothing else, just this. And I found it, and I stuck with it. And it's been a long road. It's taken this long to get here.
Well, sometimes those are the best gifts, right? When you receive that success later on in life.
Yeah. It is. And the thing is, I know my craft better now than I did when I was younger, and even when I was in my 40s or 50s. I know, because the technology has changed so considerably, and I've tried to keep up with it. So it's come at a good time, and what can I say? It's just beautiful.
Well, speaking of technology, obviously you've seen the music industry change so much throughout your career, right? What have you been able to kind of sit back and take in, and what's your perspective on all the different changes?
Well, there was a time when you had to go to a studio to get everything done. Now I have my own recording studio. I don't do masters there. I just do demos. But it gives you an opportunity to have an idea of what you want on the recordings. I do everything here in our little studio. We go to Nashville. I play it for the session leader. We sit down. We write out the charts. We hand it to the musicians, and they play it. And oh my gosh, it's just magical. It's a magical thing to be in the studio.
You've done a lot of cover songs over your career. What are some of your favorites that you like to perform, and what do audience members love to see?
Bobby Darin. Those songs, somewhere beyond the sea. When you do those, people just smile. And I love doing those songs. And I still like to throw those kind of songs in when I'm performing my original songs. It just gives it a nice feeling that people may not be familiar with my songs all the time, but when I throw those songs in, they know them, and it puts a smile on their face.
That's terrific. And what sort of advice would you have for a young singer-songwriter who wants to get into the business?
Find somebody who's doing what you want to do, and sit with them. That's what we did. We went to Nashville. We sat down with people who had a career that were doing what we wanted to do. We took their advice. We took most of it. And, that's what got us to where we are now. Because, once we got to Nashville, 2 months later, we got on our first national chart. It's because we took the advice of people who were in the business doing what we wanted to do. So try to find a mentor, somebody who's doing what you want to do, and work with them.
Well, we are so excited for you. You can follow John Michael on social media or visit his website, johnmichaelferrari.com. Such an honor to chat with you. Good luck. We wish you the best of luck. And we're going to close out with a clip of your new single, When Love Is
Wonderful.
Love.
Come talk with me a while. I see lovely in your smile. Your perfume whispers hello. Hold on and never let go. When love is love, baby will know. Oh, when love is love, baby will know. Tonight, when the stars are bright.
Something funny is going on, and it's happening every morning on Broadway and Friends on great radio stations all across the U.S. of A. Broadway, T-Wall, Mitch Pancake English, and Sweet Becca. Broadway and Friends, 4 mics, 0 filters, and more opinions than your Aunt Cheryl's Facebook feed. Broadway and Friends. Want to join the madness? Hit up BroadwayandFriends.com.
Spell out the word
And jump into the deep end, blasting for the back road to the big leagues. Broadway and Friends. The most fun you can have with your radio on.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. 6 decades after her death, actress Marilyn Monroe remains a fascination. A new book has just been released, and it's filled with never-before-seen photos of Marilyn. Dear Marilyn, the unseen letters and photographs was compiled from the archive of photographer Sam Shaw. He became friends with her back in the early 1950s before she became famous. The Shutterbug became her close confidant during some of the most difficult and tumultuous times in her life.
She looks so gorgeous. Can we keep going through these pictures, Keegan? And obviously that's the
That's
photographer.
beautiful.
I want to show you the one that really caught my eye. This next right here.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that's frameable.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And and it's weird. You think never before seen. As much as people are just striving for more and more,
Yes.
getting more content from her, because she just is this enigma of fascination in American pop culture.
It's strange that she's had this much staying power for this long.
Right? Yeah. You're right.
That to me surprises me, because you think, well, we'll move on to something else. And I don't know if it's because she had such an interesting history and a questionable death and all of those things tied to her. I mean, maybe the same could be said for Elvis too. Why we still have a fascination
Taken
with Elvis.
too soon for sure. And then you also think like, okay, I hate to sound like this, but like if she had not died, would she still be as famous?
See, that's a good question.
So there's a part of that.
Yes, and I wonder too, the same with Elvis. Like, had he lived to be, every year they say his birthday, and I'm like, wow, what if he were still alive today? Would he be as popular and as much of an icon as he is in our eyes?
And the information that we get, even now today, and not even a month ago, I just found out that they had somebody was talking about Elvis, I guess, and I don't know why, but anyway. And they said he had not gone to the bathroom in like 2 months before. I mean, like those small little facts like that. I'm like, okay, first off, somebody that died a long time ago, like it's only because it's Elvis is the only reason I find that interesting.
Right, and he died on the toilet.
And he died on the toilet, which they
oh.
unclogged and all
Yeah.
that. Let's move forward. I'm so sorry. When you want to unclog in your marriage, you get divorced. But Jennifer Lopez says she has no regrets from getting divorced from Ben Affleck. In fact, the 56-year-old Lopez called the 2024 split the best thing that ever happened to her.
Oh.
All right, well, the singer spoke about her ex while promoting her upcoming movie musical, Kiss of the Spider-Woman, which Affleck produced. J-Lo finalized her divorce, Ben, back at the beginning of the year, January. Affleck says that despite the split, they are both on good terms.
Okay.
And, you know, it's a lot about learning and moving on. And also, you want to always feel victorious. Having been divorced, you want to feel the victorious. So, yes, you're going to say it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Of course.
Because it was horrible. I'm like, well, you know, okay, you had 2 times, you wanted to marry this guy, so you really apparently wanted to marry him.
Yeah.
She also came out that she was on another podcast. I don't think it's the same thing, but she was talking about how great she was as a track runner. Apparently, she did pretty well in high school, but she said that she has a record, a state record, and somebody looked up and was like, you were nowhere near the state record. But she was quite the athlete. So, and she's a beautiful woman, and I hate divorces. Who would want to break up?
But she's been married several times. She's the type of celebrity I think likes to be married. She likes the whole ceremony of it and the pomp and circumstance.
She's the queen of the day.
No,
I mean, really, that's what a wedding is.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Her movie Kiss of the Spider-Woman completely bombed at the box office. It didn't even crack $1 million. I think it was like $800,000.
And you'll tell me more about this movie because I know nothing about it.
I didn't even realize it was in theaters. I had heard a little bit about it, but it's a remake of a movie that came out.
I remember that. The name of the movie.
Yeah, and so it's just like, I think now she's struggling for attention.
I think, and it's a lot of when you were as high of where she was as far as popularity goes, there is some, I would imagine, I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but you have to find the happy medium. You go, you know what, I'm never going to always be here.
Yeah.
I need to start getting comfortable with being here, and then you have your longevity, and that's why I think there's some stars. People were coming out about Pedro Pascal saying, listen, you're in way too much stuff. You need to stop.
Yes, that's a great point.
And they're saying that about Walton Goggins as well. And so even though when you're hot, everybody wants you, so you take the work.
Yep.
And you try to get out there as much as possible, but then you get burnt out.
But the risk of overexposure and people getting sick and tired of seeing you is definitely part of it. And and that might be in her case. She's gorgeous, super talented.
She is.
It's one of those things where it's like, we wouldn't mind not seeing you for a little bit. We'd like to miss you so that we could see you again.
Jerry Seinfeld could have done, I tell everybody about this, Jerry Seinfeld could have done one more season, the 10th season and of his show, Seinfeld, but he says, no, if you're a comedian, you always want them wanting more. And he walked away from like $100 million deal back in the 90s.
Good point.
So always kind of remember that.
That's
know your value and don't burn everybody out.
Yeah.
Oh, which means, even take commercial breaks if you have to.
Yes, I know. They can be inconvenient at times.
You want to do one?
I think so. Let's do one.
They're
but
getting sick of it.
Let's promote our website,
dailyflashshow.com. It never ends, the show there.
24/7, 365.
And James is waiting for you, lurking, waiting.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash, trending news and entertainment.
I'm Mitch English and welcoming you to Daily Flash, of course, today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
We love all of our stations across the nation.
Big time.
James Alexander is telling us who is watching us and from where. Hey, James.
I know. Hey, thank you. Hey, we're seen all over the world, from streamers, YouTube, the American Forces Network, and of course, 219 great TV stations around the country. And if you want to check out the full list of where we are, just go to our website at dailyflashshow.com and click on the Where to Watch tab. So our local friends today come from KWBJ TV in New Orleans, Louisiana. Nolan is what they call it. So I got a couple of creepy facts.
Creepy.
Are you ready?
Okay, we're ready.
You may want to hide your purse. They say hide your kids, hide your wife. All right. New Orleans has a voodoo highway legend where certain intersections are believed to carry spiritual energy tied to the city's Creole history. Right?
Of course.
And Marie Laveau, her tomb is one of the most visited graves in the U.S. And for generations, people have marked X's on it, believing it can grant wishes.
Is it an actual grave? There's no graves in New Orleans.
They're all above ground.
They're above. I guess it's still. I guess it's called a grave.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cemetery, yeah.
Papa Legba.
Yeah, because it's, as we learned from Katrina, they're actually below sea level. The whole city is altogether. Love New Orleans, man. You talk about a city, probably the most cultured city, meaning like it's almost like it was back in the French, when the French owned in the 1700s and stuff. That's one thing I always love about it. It just has that great feel to it.
Rich in history.
History,
for sure.
there you go.
Yeah.
Love that. All right, there are crazy stories happening around the world, and believe it or not, there's still a lot of Pokemon fans out there that have grown up to be adults, right? Well, now a card collector there has cornered the market on just one card, sending prices soaring 971% in just a few weeks. The guy, his name is Kabuto King. That's how he's only known as.
Kabuto King.
He's been purchasing every first edition of the Pokemon card Kabuto since 1999, and the price for a near-mint first edition card of the common crab-like character skyrocketed. If he had sold all of his cards at the new average rate, he could make about $85,000 of these Pokemon cards. It's actually considered a massive profit from an $8,700 investment.
Yeah.
The obsessed collector says he has no intention of selling them anytime soon. Probably smart, because you can probably wait until another generation goes through, and then they'll really be worth a lot.
That is true. I find it so fascinating, the whole Pokemon card culture.
Were you remember when it went to online and no, you're part of that.
No.
I remember like
I do, yeah.
everybody was walking around trying to find Pokemons because they came out with an app.
Yeah.
And there's still people that are doing it, and they'll it's called Pokemon Go. Thank you there, Keegan. And cities actually, they'll do it because they appreciate people being downtown or checking out places. Their hope is that you're downtown trying to find Pokemon, but you'll also see what's going on and get something to eat.
Or you'll get hit by a car.
Or hit by a car
because it's your phone.
Because it does. It pops up on the screen. Yeah. It's augmented reality, and then you find it and you press a button.
Because wasn't that an issue? There were some people that were getting caught in car accidents or gravely hurt because they weren't paying attention?
Well, they have to catch them all. That's what they said. Got to catch them all, Pokemon. The only Pokemon I can remember is outside of Pikachu, is Jigglypuff. And I don't know why I remember Jigglypuff. And what his thing was, when he sings...
I know why you remember Jigglypuff.
I was a Jigglypuff, that's probably why. But when he would sing, it would put you to sleep. That was his special power. Oh. It was this little round pink thing. And parents, if you find one Pokemon, if it gets popular again, just find one Pokemon and learn everything about it. Your kids are blown away. You know about Jigglypuff?
Really?
My kids were like, yeah, I know all about the Pokemon.
That's all it takes is one Pokemon character?
And then you leave the conversation after you tell everything you
And you exit stage left.
Dad knows
quickly.
a lot about Jigglypuff. No, Dad just studied that as well.
Interesting. Okay. Well, the Pokemon culture definitely has its own vibe to it, and obviously value.
And it hasn't gone away. It's been around for so long. And I still appreciate the card game. I tried to figure it out with my kids. They were trying to tell me, I was like, I lost interest as well. I go, I'll be Jigglypuff and go to sleep.
A for effort. We're back right after this.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. We're dancing on the scene, of course. This week, you got another thing coming. Doreen chatting it up with Judas Priest bassist and founding member Ian Hill.
Today on The Scene with Doreen, I may break a few laws because I sit down with original bassist and founding member of Judas Priest, Ian Hill. They have a new tour and an album, and I can't wait to dig in. Check it out. Very few bands can be described as metal gods and have an influential sound that lasts over 50 years. It has to feel pretty surreal that you are still out there rocking with the best of them.
I know. I mean, when we started in those days, to late 60s, 69, the concept of someone our age being able to play sort of contemporary music just didn't exist, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, even Crosby was still in his 60s, Sinatra was in his 50s, Elvis was in his 40s, you know. Yeah. And the thought of somebody sort of you know, sort of throwing shapes when they're in the 70s. It didn't even look quite, you know.
And you've really become known as that glue that held Judas Priest together, rather than the flashy, solo-oriented approach like a lot of bassists sometimes, and especially in modern bands. You are excellent at serving the song and letting the other part shine on top of what you do.
Well, yeah. So thanks for saying that. But yeah, the other three were more showy than me. They always were, you know. Rob, Ken, and Glenn. They sort of hogged the front of the stage, and that was fine with me, you know, because believe it or not, I'm rather shy. So so that worked for me as well.
It is unbelievable, but 2025 marks the 45th anniversary of your mega hit, Breaking the Law.
Oh, thank you very much. I didn't realise that until you told me. I had 45 years, what do you know?
It's a super fun fact. It was recorded at the former home of Ringo Starr, and John Lennon actually recorded Imagine in the very same space years prior.
Yeah, that's right. The thing was, when we were recording that album, it was the time when Lennon was shot.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if you've ever seen the video of Imagine.
Yes.
He's playing on a piano, and Yoko's going around and opening all these curtains in this room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that. We were sitting in that room when that came on the TV. You know, there wasn't one of us that didn't look around expecting to see Yoko opening the curtains.
Poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Also, I want to give a shout out to your recent release of War Pigs charity version featuring Ozzy Osbourne. And all the profits are being donated to the Glenn Tipton Parkinson's Foundation and Cure Parkinson's.
That's right, yeah. Of course, Ozzy and Glenn both tragically suffer from it, you know. So the Osbourne people, you know, sent us over some recordings of Ozzy, and our producer Andy Sneap, who's obviously now is one of our guitarists. He slotted it in, you know, and it turned out great. It was perfect. It just completed it.
How did it feel to hear his vocals after, you know, everything happened and we lost him? And then you're in the studio technically with him.
You've just given me goosebumps. Just by saying that.
I kind of gave them to myself too. It was sort of that moment.
It's another surreal moment, you know. Going back to like the John Lennon connection. I mean, Ozzy was just larger than life. His character will live way longer than his music.
Visit JudasPriest.com for more info, music, tour dates, and just stay connected with everything that is Judas Priest and the great Ian Hill.
Doreen, it's been a pleasure. Anytime.
Ian Hill and Judas Priest always prove they've got another thing coming. And if you want to hear more of our great conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson!
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of Hollywood.
Hold on, wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
So, Matty of Birkenshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Ooh, dog and cat! It's
You should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on.
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the media.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Daily Flash.
Where are you?
It's just better when you're part of the conversation. Join us online.
Let's jump into some trending stories. This one, alrighty, makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
A local California woman fed up with allowing boys to undress in the girls' locker room. She took matters in her own hand by stripping down to a bikini, all at a recent board meeting. So somebody had some fun. Wasn't that boring? But a board, that's what I meant. Anyway, she wanted to highlight the controversial school policy making board members feel uncomfortable. Guess what? They were. They ordered her to stop removing her clothes and called for a recess twice. She wanted them to understand how young girls might feel in the locker room who are forced to undress in front of boys. That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's it seemed like it was an effective way. Also, we're talking about it. And if they can't be offended, well, you kind of wonder, well, you're making
young girls undressed in front of boys in the locker room. I don't understand how we got to this point.
Right?
To me, it's insane. And I don't know how we went from the Me Too moment, where if you looked at a woman the wrong way, you were canceled or,
That's a good point.
Basically done away with. And now we've got boys in women's locker rooms and girls' it makes zero sense to me. And then you add a girl in the boys' locker room in Virginia, and the boys were concerned about it, and they brought it up, and they've all been suspended. And it's like the boys are like, well, what is this girl doing in our locker room?
And they have to make the rules now. And you know what it's going to come down to? If they don't change, they're going to have a third locker room for anybody to go in there. Why not teachers?
There you go.
I identify as a student, even though I'm a 56-year-old man. You have to understand that it's got to stop. And again, our theme of Daily Flash, what he's talking about is these social contracts. It's like, if you're making somebody uncomfortable, do you really feel that you need to go in there and do that? Go to a private bathroom.
I just don't understand what the whole point of any of this is.
It could be controversial.
Zero sense to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Starbucks is closing hundreds of U.S. stores as part of a major restructuring plan. The company is rolling out its Back to Starbucks plan that aims to improve the in-store experience for customers. The overall number of stores will decrease by about 1%. Around 450 stores have already closed, and the company has terminated hundreds of employees, many in areas where they were demanding higher pay and more flex time, especially in places where they were looking to unionize.
Which I find hilarious. You're the union barista number 483. And they had new management come in there, and they've seen a lot of changes, some of which I like. I think it's going back to where they were at, and maybe they're getting too big. It's always weird to me when I'm say in a big city and I'm at a Starbucks and I literally can see across the street another one.
Yes.
And here's what I want. If you're going to sell Starbucks at a hotel, but it's not really a Starbucks, which is really, they just use you should say that. Because when you go to look for Starbucks, I don't want to go into to a hotel.
How many times have you been taken to a Target or a grocery store when you're looking for a Starbucks in the neighborhood?
Just the other day. And I said, I cannot believe. So now I got to go inside the Target to go do it. And which, who cares?
Yes.
But they should say, this one's inside a Target.
Yeah. Do I need a standalone Starbucks as a precursor to my search?
And by you saying that makes me feel, I know there are so many people that are so tired of this.
100%.
Me and Liza are the same thing. It's like, well, make sure it's not
inside a store or a hotel or
Not good. Yeah, and the hotel, they never get it right.
No.
One time I saw it, it said, they had a sign and it says, we have Starbucks coffee. It was in quotes.
Oh, in quotes.
Which really made me go, wait a minute, is it really Starbucks? Like when you put things in quotes, it's like, we have Starbucks coffee. Not necessarily the James. All right, what do you think about this? We would love to hear from you. Flash@dailyflashshow.com. This time of year is busy. Move over onto the tube. The NBA basketball season is here. Preseason games already kicking off. So we thought we'd want to get the bucket ball energy going.
Yes.
So we're going to be kicking it off with a little game here. And we got not only, we have James, but we also have the really cool, check this out. This is the ESPN competition LED 2-player arcade basketball right here so we can find out who actually is going to be the winner. You can get this right now at Sam's Club. You got your lights, sound effects, automatic scoring. No debating who will win this one. James, how's this going to work?
All right, here we go. We got anchor versus anchor, all right? Andrea Smooth Shot Jackson against Mitch Double Dribble English, all right? Here you go. You're going to stand in front of it. Now, you each get 30 seconds to score as many points as possible. The winner will go against Matt. Please call a foul Doolittle. Okay, so let's get it going,
with the
guys.
Lakers. All right, here we go.
All right.
The winner of this takes on Maddie. It's so easy to play this. Tell me when you're ready. You just press the play button, okay?
All right. Now, just know you're playing for this coveted award, guys. Let's get it.
All right. So
here we go, Andrea. Let's go. Here we go. Both of them are shooting very terribly. Okay, let's go. Oh, Mitch is in the lead. Mitch is in the lead. Oh, come on, Andrea Smooth Shot Jackson. Let's go. Andrea. Oh, there we go. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Oh, come on, Andrea. Let's keep shooting. Keep shooting. There we go. Are we almost tied? No, we're not. Mitch is in the lead. Here we go. Here we go. We got a few more seconds, guys. Keep going. Keep going. Keep giving a shot. Mitch is taking 4. Oh, he's taking the lead. Come on, Andrea. You can do it. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, that's it. Oh.
28. How many?
We got Mitch Double Dribble.
All right, get over here. Here we go.
Versus Matt. Please call a foul Doolittle. Let's get it. Here we go, guys. And go. Here we go. All right, Mitch is in the first place. Here we go. Matt can't shoot it for the save his life. There we go. Here we go. Mitch is doing a great job. Come on, Matt.
You're killing it.
He's scoring so much. He's making Matt look terrible. There he goes. Here we go. Oh, Matt, you can't shoot it to save it. Let's go. Come on, keep going, guys. The timer is going down. Who will come out the winner?
Oh, wow, Matt with a comeback. Matt with a comeback.
Here we go.
1.
Oh, what's the score?
What was the score?
Matt.
What was it? 20. Matt wins. Matt with a comeback.
My height. For one good thing in my life.
There you go. And you, sir, are the winner of the first ever Anchor versus Anchor.
It's the most cherished championship I've ever won.
There you go.
So much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, son.
Guess where he's going?
Regionals!
Good job, Matt. Good comeback. ESPN Pro Competition Arcade is available now exclusively at Sam's. You can also go to samsclub.com. Perfect for the family game night or friendly competition like you saw. That does it for our show. Y'all take care.
Going on the trophy case.
Going
on the trophy case.
Mom, you'll be proud.
We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. It is time for our Wow Wednesday.
Yeah, crazy stuff happening. Maddie, what do you got?
So one big thing that's come out this week, it's Michael J. Fox's new book, Future Boy, and it documents his time when he was on Family Ties and then also having to do Back to the Future at the same time. And we all know the story about how he replaced Eric Stoltz, who went into, middle of nowhere, but then also it's, Michael's like fight with Parkinson's. He's been out there promoting it, and you don't realize he has raised over $3 billion. Are
you kidding me? $3 billion?
Wow. Over $3 billion for Parkinson's research over the time that he's had it, and he talks about how he had the struggles with it in the beginning. At the end of Back to the Future 3, he started having symptoms and everything, and especially in Doc Hollywood is when he really started feeling it. So he's been out there promoting this, and he's one of my favorite actors. He's been one of my favorite people. His episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm is one of the best ever.
If you haven't seen it, it's awesome.
Shaking a Coke, and he makes fun of it, but he also promotes it, and he's been out there, and it's just...
He's Larry's neighbor, and Larry wants to complain to the neighbor about making all the noise, shaking on the floor and everything, and he finds out it's Michael J. Fox.
But I'm halfway through this book right now, and it's really a good story, especially for anybody that loves Hollywood and all that. And Back to the Future, to me, is one of those perfect movies, and how they had to beg the producers of Family Ties to let him go from the Paramount studio to Universal. Yeah. He was sleeping on the set. He was sleeping in a station wagon. He never believed this would happen, and it's really a really great, compelling
It's a
story.
great, imagine, companion to the documentary that came out.
Yep.
Which they were, and you were talking about Doc Hollywood. They were talking about, and they would show shots of way back then. You'd see he had a little bit of shaking, and that was oh man, that's how long he's actually been dealing with it. And then I hear, which I didn't know, $3 billion. Way to go, man.
Well, and he talks about how he was fighting it, and he was using alcohol to get through it, and then his wife and his kids really pushed him, be like, Dad, come on, we'll be with you, and how he could turn this into a support thing, and it's really a great story. So I love Michael J. Fox.
Future Boy.
Future Boy. It's
the
a
hat.
Great book.
Explain the hat. So
it's a Back to the Future.
I know, but not. I don't know if you could tell that it's got.
It's got the glisten on it.
Well, you can tell, but in different lighting, you can.
I mean, if somebody's going to have some stupid movie prop, it's going to be me. So
That's why we had. That's what Andrea and I say about you.
I'm almost done with my Lego DeLorean too. So.
Oh, that's good to know.
That's sad. And the cat's okay.
The cats haven't eaten it.
That does it for our show. Y'all take care. We love you. Go to our website.
Everybody.